Ready? Ready to go, guys? Okay. Okay, the time is approximately 6 p.m., April 24th, 2025. Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting will now begin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and online. I want to thank you for your presence at tonight's Board Mayor and Alderman meeting. My name is Ron Williams, the fourth elected mayor of the town of Farragut. We appreciate that each of you has taken your time from your busy schedules to either attend or view tonight's meeting to see how our town government works. All Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings are public notice per Tennessee state law. All board meetings minutes are taken and are available at a later date. Each meeting will be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on our YouTube channel. If you're in attendance, you should be able to pick up a copy of tonight's agenda at the door when you came in tonight. If you were not able to attend tonight and are viewing from home, then the agenda is available online or at our website. For those in attendance that would like to speak, please pick up a blue card at the door and write your name and the agenda number that you wish to comment on. There will also be a time reserved near the end of the meeting for citizens' comments on non-agenda subjects, which also require that you fill out a blue card with citizen comments as the time you wish to speak. You can turn those in to Allison at the very end there on my left. On each agenda item, the mayor will ask town recorder for residents' input. During this time, any Farragut resident wishing to speak to the board on that specific agenda item may do so for up to 3 minutes. After being recognized by the mayor, please go to the podium microphone in order to be heard and viewed by all. To conduct efficient business-like meetings, the town of Farragut has adopted rules for how its meetings will be conducted. Primarily, these rules are designed to keep the meeting moving, assure that all points of view are heard and considered, and to provide common courtesy to everyone. We ask that you observe the established meeting rules when addressing the board. At the beginning of your presentation, please state your name and address for the record. We ask that you address all your questions to the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor. Do not direct questions of alderman or staff. If necessary, the mayor may call on an alderman or staff member concerning your question or comments. Once you've given your input, please return to your seat so that we can continue. We ask that every speaker avoid the use of improper language and profanity or inappropriate conduct and address issues, not individuals or personalities. Speakers should try to avoid redundancy and should have their own original viewpoints. We also ask that you please stay on topic on that particular agenda item. Okay, we'll start tonight's meeting with a roll call by our town recorder for a quorum.
I forgot to push my own button. Alderman Kane.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Vice Mayor Meyer.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams here. Thank you, Allison. We do have a quorum. Now please join me by standing for a silent prayer in memory of our veterans, followed by a pledge of allegiance to our country's flag, and be led tonight by Alderman White.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderman White. Next will be approval of agenda. Do we have any amendments? We have none. Then I'll ask for a motion, please. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. If in favor of approval, please say yes.
Yes.
No. Let the record show April 24, 2025 agenda has been approved as posted. Do we have any amendments on our minutes?
No, sir.
None. Motion, please.
Move to approve. Second.
If none, I'll ask for, in favor, please say yes. Record show April 10th, 2025 minutes have been approved as posted. Okay, on the mayor's report, I'm going to go ahead and let Alderman Burnett read the proclamation that we've got.
All right. For Building Safety Month for the month of May 2025. So whereas the town of Farragut is committed to recognizing that our growth and strength depends on the safety and essential role of our homes, buildings, and infrastructure play, both in everyday life and when disasters strike, and whereas our confidence in the resilience of these buildings that make up our community is achieved through the devotion of vigilant guardians, building safety and fire prevention officials, architects, engineers, builders, tradespeople, design professionals, laborers, plumbers, and others in the construction industry who work year-round to ensure the safe construction of buildings, and whereas these guardians are dedicated members of the International Code Council, a nonprofit that brings together local, state, territorial, tribal, and federal officials who are experts in the built environment to create and implement the highest quality codes and standards to protect us in the buildings where we live, learn, work, and play. And whereas these modern building codes and standards include safeguards to protect the public from hazards such as hurricanes, snowstorms, tornadoes, wildland fires, floods, earthquakes, and whereas Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council to remind the public about the critical role of our community's largely unknown protectors of public safety, our code officials, who assure us of safe, sustainable, and affordable buildings that are essential to our prosperity. And whereas Game On, the theme for the Building Safety Month 2025, encourages us all to get involved and raise awareness about building safety on a personal, local, and global scale. And whereas each year, in observance of Building Safety Month, people all over the world are asked to consider the commitment to improve building safety, resilience, and economic investment at home and in the community, and to acknowledge the essential service provided to all of us by local, state, tribal, territorial, and federal building safety and fire prevention departments in protecting lives and property. Now therefore, Ron Williams and the Board of Mayor and Alderman of the town of Farragut in the state of Tennessee do hereby proclaim the month of May 2025 as Building Safety Month. Accordingly, I encourage our citizens to join us as we participate in the awareness of building safety.
Okay, thank you. Next up will be our local Farragut Business Alliance. I think they're going to give us a presentation, report on what they've done this past year. Okay.
That what I do? Okay. Thank you so much, Mayor, and all the aldermen. I appreciate their time today. Do I? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, this is new. I did have a PowerPoint that I submitted, but unfortunately I'm not able to play it for you, so you have your packet in front of you. So I'm going to go forward with, my name is Candace Viox. I am a resident of the town of Farragut, and I also own a restaurant, Water and Wine, located at 607 North Campbell Station Road. I am also the president of the Farragut Business Alliance, and I have been since 2018. Our board was established in 2010 and is comprised of 11 volunteers in our business community. We created the business directory per the request of the town of Farragut and our mayor, and we currently have 472 businesses which are represented. We share essential information and content from our businesses on social media, and Shop Farragut has reached over 300% in the past 2 years in growth. The Shop Farragut website is now complete. We are very excited. We've been working on that for 2 years and supports the theme Shop, Dine, and Live in Farragut. I would encourage you guys to go check out our website. It's pretty awesome. The grand opening sign program is critical to our new businesses, which Steve personally goes and puts out the signs himself all along the new businesses that have joined and come into our community. Town sampler contest and local promotions show our businesses and our community that our town supports our businesses in Farragut. Just so you know, the town of Farragut has contributed over $18,000 since we started this campaign in gift cards and purchases for our giveaways to our community. We wouldn't have been able to do that without the town's support. The Farragut Biz Mixer is hosted at a local Farragut business every quarter and provides critical networking opportunities for our businesses and town officials. We have had them at the Cotton Eye Joe. That one was really fun. We did current water sports, we did hurricane cycles. It's always an opportunity for our local officials and our elected officials to come and join and meet some of our businesses. So the next one that we have is gonna be at the Hampton Inn in Farragut, because I just completely did a remodel. So I would encourage you guys to come, the press is there, and it gives you an opportunity to connect with the businesses and be in our local newspapers. And then our Shop Farragut sign campaign that we just talked about, and then local community events. Well, those are the fun events that in your packet, you're gonna be able to see some of the amazing pictures. That is our Harvest Fest that we have been doing since 2020. It used to be called Harvest Festival, but the board mayor, Alderman, wanted it to be, what? Fall Festival, and wanted us to change the name. So we've been doing it actually since 2017, but we changed the name, so that's why it says 220. And then our Dog Days has been going on since 2017, and it's going to be here again, which we are very excited about. And then we also have the Farragut Health and Wellness Expo that we started in 2019. And that takes place because the town has been able to provide us the community center for the ability to be able to do it, since it is in the winter, in January and February, and is really cold. But again, it was our largest one that we've done since, and there were so many people there. There was a moment I was worried about the fire department getting mad at us. But anyway, it all worked out great. And so look through there and look through some of your pictures. I'll be glad to answer any questions. But I do want to remind that the town of Farragut used to sponsor the Farragut Business Alliance at $70,000 a year. And last year, or 2 fiscal years, whatever the fiscal year is for you guys, you guys knocked down the sponsor amount to $55,000 because you wanted us to focus more on Farragut businesses, and you wanted to make sure that our website got done, and you gave us some goals that you wanted to see us achieve, and I feel that we did. So here we are with the $35,000, and those were the things that supported the businesses, the sign program, the marketing partnerships with the Farragut Press. I know you guys see us in there all the time. Website management, which we pay SlamDot every month to help maintain, but Steve actively and personally makes sure that all of our businesses are uploaded, and the businesses that sadly go out of business are also taken off the website. But that does require time and money to be able to manage. The Shop Farragut campaign with the $2,500 gift cards purchased. We don't ask our businesses to donate to that campaign because most of them are small and they just can't. Elliott's will give a gift card, or a discount card for 10% off the purchases, where Water and DeWine, Steve will be able to purchase a $25 gift card that goes into the community shop, the town sampler bag, and that allows people to be able to come to my restaurant and spend $25. So it's very helpful, and we're not asking the businesses to give away something. The town is actually sponsoring it. So that's where some of your money's going. Here for the $70,000 on page 2 of your packet, I've got the $45,000 supporting infrastructure. So I was explaining to David Smoke, who attends our meetings regularly, which we are very appreciative of, things like the outdoor restrooms and the tents and the stages and all these things have gone up over 100% in expense. So where we were able to do an event in 2019 at a set price, in 2022 has significantly increased. Even the labor, they've had to pay more for labor to be able to have people to come and set the tents up, and so it's been a lot. The $10,000 for Dog Days, that's gonna maintain the same sponsorship that we are gonna request. The $10,000 sponsor for Harvest Fest is the same sponsor amount that we are gonna request. And I would like the town of Farragut to be involved in the Farragut Health and Wellness Expo. We've been doing that since 2019, and currently the town does not support or sponsor that event. I think with all of our spas and hot yoga centers and all of the things that we have in the services that are moving into Farragut, I know they may not generate as much tax revenue because they are services, but it still shows them that they're an important part of our community and that you guys support them. So that's why I asked for $5,000 sponsorship for that event. And then this is another thing to consider at the last. We don't have to, but I think it would be fun. So we used to have this event called the Taste of Farragut. I don't know if you guys remember that from back in the day, but it was a really cool event that we did here in town. The Taste of Turkey Creek, unfortunately, I have been told is no longer, that their last year was last year and they're not doing the Taste of Turkey Creek anymore. And there's a lot of reasons, okay? The restaurants have to provide the food to be able to share for 1,000 people for free. The only thing they're doing is they're just getting the marketing for being at the event. Aside from all of the infrastructure thing that I just told you, the price of the tents and the toilets and the things like that to be able to host an event with 1,000 people, that's very expensive. And then you gotta find the parking lot or the area that you're gonna be able to do it, right? These are all the things that goes into these events. So we thought about doing the Shop Farragut Food and Wine Festival, bringing it back with a VIP. And I talked to Tommy Van today, and I asked if his parking lot is still available. I know he's working with the town with a new building or something he told me about today, but he said if you would like to do it in May of '26, and he doesn't have construction underway, that we could absolutely host it at his place. What this does is hosting a food and wine festival with a ticket price for the community brings exposure to the businesses that are in that shopping center that wouldn't otherwise be busy. He asked that we not do it on a Sunday because of the church that is there. Maybe consider doing it on a Friday night. But with this sponsorship that we would request, our board would commit to you that we would coordinate the event. We'd solicit the businesses to participate. We'd negotiate the location. We'd procure an alcohol sponsor and food sponsor, which I brought my friend Vic from US Foods here tonight. Her company is very eager to try to help if we can actually pull this off. That way the restaurants are not at 100% lost of cost, okay? And then our restaurants can afford to participate May of '26. And we can also, I would suggest when we consider this proposal for you guys, that we partner with a local food pantry. You guys have heard of Shepherd of Hope. It's a big heart for me. It's an area food pantry that we have. We could very easily make our events, sponsor and help our local food pantry. The three options, so in the Taste of Farragut, it used to be one trophy. And that was what you got. I think Jerron Little was the last one, and he still has it. So I told him, I was like, we're gonna have it out one day. It's gonna happen. But anyways, I was thinking about we could do three. The best ethnic cuisine, that would get our Asian and our Mexican and our Indian and some of our other friends in the community that have foods that maybe aren't otherwise shared or tasted. We can do the best Americana cuisine, and then I thought the sweet cuisine, because we have so many amazing donut shops opening, and we have the ice cream and the custards, and like, you could get really fat in Farragut right now, is all I'm saying. So anyway, I'm just like, we could have those different options, so that would bring in more restaurants, so they would feel like they had an opportunity to actually win something and gain some exposure. So we understand and acknowledge the town's commitment to our business community. We appreciate the sponsorship of our events, our business campaigns, and the website creation to our Farragut businesses. We will continue to be good stewards of your funds and to the Shop Farragut brand. So that is our presentation. Do you guys have any questions?
Okay, thank you. If anybody's got any questions, please cue your mic and ask Candace.
You think you have some businesses already interested for the Taste of Farragut coming back?
I know Duran and I are.
But I mean, is the 100% free? I mean, that seems like pretty big.
This is where Steve is amazing and where he comes in. He already has so many relationships with like the Euphoric Cheese and the Sparrow Wine Bar. I know they would be interested. And he personally meets with all of the businesses, even the Dunkin' Donuts, putting up the signs. So this is why Steve is such a vital part of the Shop Farragut, Farragut Business Alliance brand, is because he personally meets with the owners or the managers to be able to do that. And again, I have a mouth, you know that. I'm gonna be able to talk to everybody and get as many people in, if that's something that you guys wanna think about starting back up. I mean, we haven't done it since 2019 was our last one. So I want to remind you, that was something that we did, the Farragut Business Alliance Shop Farragut brand did on behalf of the town. So if that's something that you would like to bring back, you let us know and I'll get started on it.
Okay, thank you, Candace. Great
you.
presentation. Okay, next will, I guess, be my report. I want to start off with a big thank you to our previous Planning Commission Chairman, Scott Russ, who served our Planning Commission ever since I was elected mayor. He'll be cycling off the commission for personal reasons, and I will be appointing Derek Wright to fill his vacant spot on the Planning Commission, starting with the next meeting, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Alderman Ron Pinchuk will take over as the chairman. That will be in the May meeting. So that's my report. Vice Mayor, do you have anything? Any other aldermen have anything? None? Okay. Then we will move on to, looks like we have one resolution tonight. Be Resolution R 2025-07, approval of Resolution R 2025-07, revised FY 2025 fee schedule.
Sir, attached to your packets tonight is the revised fee schedule. The only change from the current schedule is the removal of the credit card processing fees. The update is in response to the recent changes by Visa, which no longer allow merchants to pass the credit card processing fees to customers in the form of a convenience fee. As a result, staff recommended removing this fee from this fee schedule. The motion is to approve Resolution R 2025-07, revised 2025 fee schedule.
Okay. I'll need a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any resident comments? Anybody signed up
No,
for
sir.
this? We do not. Okay, discussion, and we're going to be doing this a little bit different, so I'll go ahead and ask you, and then you can cue your mic and speak until we get a hang of this thing. We'll start with the Vice Mayor.
Pass.
Okay, Alderman Kane,
No questions.
Alderman White,
No questions.
okay, Alderman Burnett.
Happy to ask some questions. So this really bothers me because it's like Big Brother, you know, just smushing down on the little guy. Why don't we just change what we call it and up our prices 2%? We can't pass a convenience fee. Well, let's just not call it a convenience fee. That's stupid. I feel like Visa should have no say in what we price this as. So why don't we just not call it a convenience fee? Why do we have to take the hit? Visa should take the hit.
So you
And they
can't
don't
call it a convenience fee or a credit card processing fee.
check. We won't do that.
Yeah, so when you do that, when you pass it on that way, they have, what brought this up is we have new credit card fees coming, so, or credit card machines coming. So they have fined businesses that are passing that on to the customer. And so we'll be reviewing our fee schedule for FY '26 to cover some of this.
Okay. That's all I got. I think it's
That's all you got?
ridiculous.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. In this case, I believe we'll go ahead and ask for a roll call vote, please.
Alderman Burnett? Yes. Alderman Kane?
Yes.
Alderman White? Vice Mayor Meyer?
Yes.
Mayor Williams? Mayor
Williams, yes. Let the record show that the request has been approved. Resolution R 2025-07 has passed. Unanimous roll call vote, April 10th, 2025, approximately 6:24 p.m. Okay, next, with no ordinances tonight, we'll move on to our business items. It looks like we have 6 of those to review and consider for approval. We'll start off with approval of revised concept master plan as required for modifications to the commercial portion of Kingston Pike Villages planned commercial development. That would be located at 13106 to 13140 Kingston Pike. It's 18.5 acres, zone PCD, Kingston Pike Properties 2 LLC applicant.
Good evening. I'm Mark Shipley. I'll present this item to you. Over the past really several months, the Planning Commission has looked at different versions of the concept master plan that's before you. The latest review by the Planning Commission was in March when they actually took action on the concept master plan. So there have been a number of changes and it's kind of evolved again over a period of time. The concept master plan is actually one of the components that's required for a rezoning to the planned commercial development district. The original concept master plan for this particular PCD project, which is the one at South Watt Road and Kingston Pike in the far west part of town, it included both a multifamily portion that was on the kind of south half of the development and then a commercial portion on the north half. The original concept master plan for the commercial portion of the project included a roughly 48,000 square foot grocery store. There were two 9,000 square foot retail buildings, and that concept is on the screen there. And then there was a fuel center kind of on the east end of the parking lot across from the grocery store. So there was a lot of asphalt kind of in the middle, to service the grocery store. So that was kind of the original concept master plan that was approved with the rezoning back in 2017. As you all know, the multifamily portion of this project is complete. So what is being presented to you this evening is just for the basically north half, the commercial part of this PCD project. So as I discussed with the Planning Commission, in the PCD ordinance, it talks about major and minor changes. And what they've done is a major change, and major changes have to be approved by both the Planning Commission and the Board of Mayor and Alderman since it was tied to the rezoning. So the latest update that they have, there's on the screen, it includes a mixture of retail, office, and restaurant spaces, which range from 2,500 square feet to a little over 6,000 square feet. If you'll notice on the westernmost portion, there is an area that's not programmed for development right now. That is part of the PCD. The owner is still trying to figure out that particular area. When they do come up with uses and a layout for that portion of this PCD, it also will have to come to the Planning Commission and the board for your all's approval. So in terms of this concept master plan, really the intent of it is to establish the general layout and the uses. The Planning Commission is going to have to approve a more detailed site plan whenever, if you all approve the concept master plan, and then that site plan is going to be very consistent with this concept plan. This particular concept plan, if you kind of compare it to the original plan, at least from the staff's perspective, we feel that it is more compatible with and really a better transition to the multifamily portion. You had the relatively large footprint grocery store and a lot of parking, a lot of asphalt in the middle. And here you've got, smaller footprint, kind of almost neighborhood residential scale buildings that have some mixture of uses and some outdoor seating. So all those things are a little bit better mix and a little better fit with the residential portion of this PCD. One thing that we ask the applicant to look at is whenever they do develop that westernmost area, that they consider trying to, again, expand on the open spaces and some elements that can help further tie the commercial to the residential to make it, if you live in the apartments, to make it inviting for you to want to go down to the north to a restaurant or to shop or whatever. So basically, when this was presented again for a vote to the Planning Commission at their March 20th meeting, they did unanimously recommend approval of this updated concept master plan, and the staff also recommends approval.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Do we have any sort of a motion here?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay. Do we have anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, sir.
We do not? Okay. Then, looks like I will, again, go back down the line. Alderman Kane.
Mark, have they had any discussion about what they're gonna do with that 48,000 square foot space with you?
I mean, we've looked, like I said earlier, there's been a number of concepts, and they've had a variety of different things there. I think the most recent, and Daniel can correct me if I'm wrong, I think they were looking at a daycare facility there because there's a need for that. And that might be a good transition with the multifamily there too, to have that nearby. But obviously they don't have anything specific, or they would have it at this time, but from a staff's perspective, you know, we'll work with them to hopefully have something there that is a good fit and a good transitional use between the residential and the commercial.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
I was gonna say, I think that the change is a much better fit with the residential area than having a grocery store, so that's all.
Alderman White?
I have no questions, Mayor.
Okay. The way it's laid out now, there couldn't possibly be a grocery store there if it had a gas
I
post.
mean, you could, well, yeah, not a fuel center, but
Okay.
you could possibly have a small footprint, you
Okay.
know, grocery store, potentially. I mean,
Okay.
you know, the parking is gonna be tricky. It'd have to be a pretty small footprint store. But that's
Like a Waggles or
a
something?
possibility.
Yeah, okay. Okay, sir, thank you again, okay. I'll ask you if in favor of the vote by saying yes. Yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Let the record show it's been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of the Race for Reason 5K through Sweetbriar subdivision.
Yes, sir. Included in your packets is a request for the approval of the event for the race for a reason, 5K. The event is scheduled for the morning of June 1st, 2025, and is anticipated to have over 200 participants. The parking and race events will be held within the Phase 1 of Pinnacle Turkey Creek, and the volunteers will be responsible for defining the race route and cleaning up afterwards. This will go through the streets and sidewalks of Sweetbriar subdivision. Motion is to approve the event application for June 1st, 2025, involving the town's public rights-of-ways and pedestrian facilities for the Race for a Reason 5K.
Second.
Okay, any resident comments on this? Do we need someone to discuss it, or if everybody's fine with it, then we'll,
No, but who made the second on that? Okay, sorry.
okay. Okay, okay, if anybody has any questions, please push your button. Seeing none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Any noes? Let the record show the 5K has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of change order 2, replacement of mast arm, contract 2022-07, Farragut Advanced Traffic Management System, Phase 1. In case everybody's asking or wants to know, we're looking at that screen back there. What you all see behind us.
I was just looking at Brian.
Well, the whole TV guy, we didn't see it. I'm sitting over there from now on.
Go ahead, Darrell.
Okay. Good evening. This room looks fantastic, doesn't it? Well done. The next three items on your agenda are change orders to our Advanced Traffic Management System project, the ATMS project. These are more or less a housekeeping measure because TDOT has already approved them. So it is fully reimbursable to the town. It's not costing us anything. So the first change order is change order 2, replacement of a mast arm. We ran into an overhead utility conflict at Federal Boulevard and had to go with a longer mast arm, a 45-foot mast arm as opposed to a 35-foot mast arm. That had a cost of $4,420, and staff recommends approval.
Okay, we have any questions, please push your button.
How's this not costing us any money, Darrell?
Well, like I said, TDOT Local Programs has already approved the change order and obligated the funding for it. It's more or less a formality that you guys need to approve it at this point.
So it's TDOT's paying for it? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. The project is 100% funded through the CMAQ program. So it's really costing us nothing, as long as it is reimbursable through local programs.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? I see no lights, so I'll conclude the discussion is complete, and I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Any noes? Let the record show change order has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of change order number 3, your electrical services contract 2022-07 Farragut Advanced Traffic Management System Phase 1.
Yes, this is change order 3, new electrical services. There were 5 locations that they had planned to use the existing electrical service hookups to modify them a little bit and reuse them. Unfortunately, cabinets got moved, they wouldn't reach, and they had to go with new services at 5 locations. That came with a cost of $12,743.95. Staff recommends approval.
Okay, any resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Okay, discussion. Anyone wants to comment, please push their button. Looks like have any, so if none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Let the record show that change order has been approved as requested. Next will be approval of change order number 4, Fisher termination cabinets.
Yes, this is change order 4, the fiber termination cabinets, where the fiber optic lines run into the buildings here at Town Hall and over at the community center. That requires the termination cabinets that had been left out of the plans. To provide 2 of those with all of the splicing and installation at a cost of $30,718.34, plus they asked for an additional 35 days of contract time. Staff recommends approval.
Any resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Okay, discussion, if you've got discussion. See none, so I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Any noes? Let the record show the change order has been approved as requested. Okay, next will be approval of change order number 1, contract 2025-06, McPhee Park, Phase 4, stormwater parking facilities.
Yes, this is change order 1 for our McPhee Park parking lot project. Our CEI consultant prefers to present change orders a little differently than we did in this last bunch. They prefer to present potential change orders, take several of them, lump them together into one change order. So I'll go through the potential change orders, that's PCOs. PCO 2 was the addition of an irrigation controller with an increase of $6,226.61. PCO 3 was elimination of a catch basin and storm line with a credit of $5,221. PCOs 4 through 6, our contractor is requesting an additional 14 days of contract time due to adverse weather conditions in December through February. PCO 7 was an additional cost of $1,167.22 to construct and install a sign showing that this project is being funded through a stormwater infrastructure grant through TDEC. Sign was installed and it was a requirement of the project, but at that cost. PCO 8, the contractor is requesting 8 additional days of contract time for the time between the notice to proceed and the actual construction start date. Lumping everything together into one change order, that increases the contract amount $2,172.83 with a contract time extension of 22 days. Oh, staff recommends approval.
Scott, Drew. Okay, any resident comments on this one?
No, sir.
None? Any discussion? Please push your button. Seeing none, I'll ask if in favor, vote by saying yes. Yes. Let the record show change order's been approved as requested. Thank you, Darrell. Next will be citizen comments at the end of our business.
We do not have any.
Oh, we don't have any? Well, I won't read that then. Next will be town administrator's report. David, you're up.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to just take a few minutes to really recognize and just really thank our staff that have worked diligently over the last 16 months to get us into this building. There's a lot of moving parts when you are moving staff out of a building. They got to go work in sometimes not the greatest conditions, just based on tightness and how close everybody is. But then being able to get back here has been a great team effort. So first, I'd like to thank the board, mayor, and alderman truly for making this happen. Without your support to provide us this modern space for the public and our team, it's something I think that we're going to be proud of for many, many years to come. Also like to thank all of our staff. Again, I talked about it, but they worked in tight quarters the past 16 months. It kept delivering outstanding service, even when distractions happen quite often because of how, and I really, really, really appreciate their dedication and their hard work. I'd also like to thank our Public Works Director, Will Wiley, and his team for spending countless hours over the past few weeks getting the Farragut Museum ready to open, getting the outside and inside of the building ready for occupancy, and helping with all the final touches to make the building shine. I wanted to thank the Parks Maintenance team for taking care of the grounds maintenance at Town Hall while we were gone. I'll also like to thank Museum Coordinator Christy Vining, Parks and Rec Director Ron Ostrike, and all of our museum volunteers for their efforts in getting the museum open again. The displays are looking great, and I really look forward to the visitors being able to come back and really learn about the history of the Farragut area again. Also want to thank our building official, Carl Swersco, and his team for meeting bi-weekly with our contractor, Wright Contracting, to help identify issues on the front end that would help us move this project along without significant delays. I'd also like to thank Town Recorder, Allison Myers, for her interior design skills as she worked closely with Cope Architecture and our furniture design team to bring together what you see around us today, because I certainly don't pick colors, and she does an outstanding job of that. I'd also like to thank HR Director Michelle Pence for somehow getting chosen for picking artwork to place around the building, digging through musty storage boxes all over the place, and helping really anywhere she could to get us back in the building. Also like to thank Operations Manager Chris Sheffield for pulling together one of the largest logistics spreadsheets I've ever seen to pinpoint all the things we had to finalize these past 3 months to get us in the building. I'd also like to thank IT Manager Travis Ramsey and his team, which is Ryan, and all the contractors that have worked tirelessly over the past 3 months to get our IT network up and running, get our security systems in place, and get the AV equipment ready for our first meeting this evening. We still have a little bit left to do, but it's been a monumental task, and I really appreciate Travis, and he's met the challenge. Finally, I'd like to thank somebody that's not here tonight, and that's Bud McKelvey. Bud has been in this building every day for the last 6 months. He couldn't make it tonight, but he is going to be retiring next Friday at 3 o'clock. I hope everybody can be here for his going away party. But he's been here trying to get in this building. It's something that's been a little bit of love, a little bit of hate, a little bit of everything, I think, for Bud with dealing with construction. But he's taken it on. He's taken on the challenge, and we would not have gotten in this building as smoothly as we did without Bud's efforts. So that's all I had to report, Mayor, but I really do appreciate all of our staff and all the work they've done.
Yeah, I have to agree wholeheartedly with that. It's. Okay, next will be our town attorney's report.
I don't have a report, but I would say a couple of things. One is, I hadn't seen the building until today when I came out for a meeting this morning. Upstairs, I did not realize how big this building is, really, when it's arranged in a way that it's arranged now. It's really, really nice up there, and it's gonna make everything work a lot better. And something that sort of came to my mind a minute ago when we were talking about the fact that all of these change orders were being paid for by the state. I don't think the citizens of this town realize how amazing the staff does at getting grants and securing funding for all of the many improvements that have been made in this town over the years. I can remember back 20 years ago when I first started doing this, most of the roads in this town were absolutely pathetic. And it's just amazing how those changes have occurred. In my mind, so much for the better. And I think the citizens need to think in terms of sometimes that we don't have a property tax, but yet we're able to do all these projects that make life better for everybody. And to me, that's a major thing that sometimes gets overlooked. And I'm not on the staff, but I appreciate all of what they do, and this building is just the latest in a long line of great projects that they've been responsible for. Thank you for letting me comment on that.
Okay. Looks like the time is approximately 6:47 p.m. Without objection, April 24, 2025. Farragut Board Mayor and Alderman meeting is now adjourned.